Welcome to Legal Beagle.
Hello, and welcome to another segment of Legal Beagle. And we do have Aaron with us again today. He is our legal assistant here at Lyke Law and is actually studying over at MSU. And we are going to be talking today about what a judge's role is and what makes a good judge and the qualifications of a judge. And I believe this will be a really interesting segment today, don't you?
Absolutely.
And with that being said, let's just dive right into our questions. Would you like to ask your first question?
Absolutely. So the first question, how important is it to have a good judge in circuit court?
Having a good judge in Michigan Circuit Court is critically important because circuit courts handle some of the most serious and wide-ranging legal matters in the state. A judge's competence, fairness, integrity directly affects the justice and the community safety and public trust. I'd like to add to that last segment, your last question, but circuit court judges issues rulings and orders that can send someone to prison. It can also determine the paternity rights and custody. It resolves disputes about homes and contracts and money. And protecting victims from personal protection orders. And just recently we have what is called the Extreme Protection Act as well. So all of these decisions require a deep legal expertise and sound judgment. A poor or a biased judge can cause wrongful convictions and also can give unfair rulings and just unsafe outcomes. And so it's vitally important to have a good judge that is going to listen to all the facts, and the courtroom is about the people.
That leads us into appeals for lower courts.
Well, Michigan Circuit Courts also review appeals, and that is from district courts and probate courts. This means that they check on the justice system and they're correcting errors, ensuring fairness of all levels. So a skilled judge ensures that lower courts' mistakes, whether legal or procedural, and don't harm individuals or the community. So we want to make sure that things are working properly and making sure that we ensure that they're legally done and procedurally done.
Can you tell us, how long does a circuit court judge serve a term?
Sure. Circuit court judges are for 6-year terms. They influence our local justice for many years, and so a good judge make sure that they manage the courtroom effectively and efficiently, and they treat people respectfully. And that's part of our canons. They have to apply the law consistently, ensure that they treat trials fairly and timely. And this also fosters a public confidence in the legal system, and a bad judge, by contrast, can create delays, can also confuse people, can have confusion in the courtrooms, and have a perception of bias.
How does a circuit court judge interpret and apply complex Michigan laws?
That's a great question. Circuit courts operate under the Michigan Constitution, but they also need to apply the U.S. Constitution as well. And they have to look at the statutes and have a rule of law. They're not to legislate at the bench. They are to interpret the law. And that means that they must understand and apply the laws that are governing criminal justice, civil procedure, family law, and also business disputes and appeals. But they also have to make sure, too, that they understand the evidence rules, and they also need to understand the court rules itself. And a knowledgeable judge ensures that the law is applied correctly and consistently.
I believe that's all the questions we have for today.
Well, let me ask you this, Aaron. When you go in front of a judge, what do you think is the most important, vital thing?
For a judge?
Yeah.
I believe that it's important for them to know how the law works and what they're doing.
Well, did you learn today that applying the court rules and applying the evidence rules are very important too as well?
Absolutely.
And do you know what qualifications does a circuit judge have to have?
You have to be,
in Michigan?
In Michigan, you have to be 30 years old and have 5 years of experience.
And you also have to be eligible to vote in Michigan, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And, a couple other qualifications. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it's good to know. They have to live within the judicial circuit. So for instance, if it was Livingston County, they have to live in the county to actually run for judge and preside. And they have to be a licensed attorney in good standing, and they have to follow the canons too as well, but be under the age of 70. So, and that's the date of the election. So those are the minimum qualifications. So I just want to remind the folks at home that it's vitally important to, when you go to elect a judge, that you do the research. You go and look to see how many years of experience do they have? What kind of law have they practiced? What kind of experiences have they had? And make sure that this individual is going to follow the Constitution, the state Constitution, and U.S. Constitution, and make sure that the individual is going to follow their oath, because that oath is so important. And with that being said, that brings us to an end to our session of Legal Beagle. I hope that you learned a lot, and I hope that everyone else did learn a little bit about judges and making sure that we vote these individuals in that need to preside over these critically important cases that we have in our lives. They affect so many people in our lives, our families, our friends, and it's important that you do your homework. So with that being said, please like us, share us on Facebook, look us up on LykeLaw.com, and we'll see you next time. And please subscribe to us and like us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.